So webinar number 9, the benefits of using Everplans. Again, Jerrod Ferguson, Vice President of Vance Wealth. Hope everyone is doing well. It's not John today. We gave him the week off, but he will be back next week. So just some housekeeping items. Q&A, so you can type as we go and I'll answer all the questions at the end. So as you know, we're going to go through different slides. As questions come up, go ahead and type them. They'll hold in a queue, and then I'll be able to hopefully answer everything at the end. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be sent out by the end of the week. And webinar number 10, this is going to be scheduled for May 12th at 4:30. John will be covering COVID-19 updates and discuss plans to reopen America. So this is a short video. You know, what is Everplans on the surface? It's a simple and secure way to gather and store all the important items that you need and your family needs to know about. So we're going to go through the benefits, kind of what Everplans is, how it was started, and then the interface, go through a couple slides there just to kind of give you a feel of what the interface looks like and how it works. And then this, we'll just start off with a quick 2-minute video or so, just summarizing what it is.
Our lives are made up of so many things. Days are filled with family, friends, work, daily tasks, obligations, and paperwork. Life is complicated. We do so much to take care of our families, try to get all the right things in place for them. We want them to be okay, no matter what. It's hard to stay on top of it all, and especially hard to keep everything organized. Everplans is here to help you. We're a secure and simple way to gather and store all of the most important things you need and your family really needs to know about. Everplans helps you identify and add important items like your most relevant financial information, like vital legal documents you've created, such as your will or power of attorney, as well as things that might never have occurred to you, such as the password for your password manager, how you pay your bills, the code for your phone, and the stories behind cherished family heirlooms. Even house stuff, like how the brand new thermostat works. Our mission is to get you organized and provide your family peace of mind. By offering guidance, the Everplans platform helps identify any gaps you have in your planning or questions you may have in general and works towards a solution. Since sharing is a major part of the platform, you'll have the opportunity to choose Everplans Deputies. These are trusted family members, advisors, attorneys, or close friends that only you can get permission to access your plan. If anything were to happen to you, your Everplan is in place, ensuring everything is easily accessible for your family when they need it most. Our goal is to provide peace of mind throughout all aspects of your life, for you and your family. Get started now.
Okay, so that kind of gives a little bit of background about Everplans, what it does, how it helps, and you know, why it's important. So the background on Everplans is it was started in 2012, based out of New York City. One of the founders actually experienced personal tragedy, unfortunately. So she was settling her father's estate and kept running into all these issues. And so she really set out to try to educate people so they weren't running into these same issues. And what she found was there was actually a greater need, not only to educate people, but to provide a service or a platform to help educate people, but also store all the important information. So it essentially kind of set out to be an educational platform, but then there was a greater need to actually have a secure platform to kind of organize all those questions and different issues that she was running into settling her father's estate, and essentially built a product because there was a need for that. So, you know, has anyone recently settled an estate? I know that we've heard from clients that have to maybe deal with their parents or a loved one and run into a lot of issues. So Everplans really is trying to do a lot of that heavy lifting on the front end to make kind of the next generation or the heir or the executor of your estate make their life a little bit easier. So Everplans actually, the users began asking their advisors for help. And so I know at Raymond James, the advisors were like, what is Everplans? And I think the advisors basically went to Raymond James and said, hey, I keep getting questions on this Everplans. Can we figure out, does this make sense to actually provide to our clients? And so that's what happened. I think there was just so much traction there that Raymond James basically vetted it as a third-party service. And now that's why we're rolling it out for our clients. So ask yourself these 5 questions. Does your family know what types of insurance and how much coverage you have? What good is insurance if the beneficiary doesn't actually know it exists? How easy would it be for your family to navigate the maze of your online accounts? I think this is becoming more and more of an issue. Or, when you look at the amount of username and passwords that we all have, right? We look at fitness apps, we have travel apps, banking. I can't remember the last time I walked into a bank. I can deposit all my checks that I get on my phone, cloud storage. So this is not going away. I think technology has really changed the way that we interact. And if someone had to essentially get personal information, important information from your maze of online accounts, would they know where to start? Would they know how to navigate through all of that? Does your family know about all the benefits, financial accounts, investments, and other assets you have worked so hard for throughout your life? Now that's where Vance Wealth comes in, right? This is trying to help consolidate all the accounts and try to organize the information for you so you can understand it. But I think, when we work with prospective clients, it's sometimes hard for them to actually gather this information themselves. So if you think about it, we tend to ask for a lot of information in the first meeting, and we ask for, more the better, bring a stack to us and we'll go through it. Sometimes they're like, I know I have a 401k somewhere. I literally cannot find it. I'm not able to get the information. So if the actual person is having a tough time dealing with finding certain assets or accounts or getting information, think about what your heir or the next generation might have to go through. You know about your doctors, specialist medicines, and allergies, but does your family? So I think this is especially important now with all the COVID-19 concerns out there. Is if something does happen to you, does your family have access to your healthcare directive? If you were to end up in the hospital, and are you able to get your healthcare directive to them? So whatever plans, and you'll learn by the end of this, is you actually can grant access for, let's say, your healthcare directive specifically to your beneficiary or to your child or to someone that you care about and that you trust, that if something does happen, you can actually have them provide that to the hospital to make sure that you get treated appropriately. How about all those memories that have shaped your story and that you hold so dear? So I think this is one of the areas of Everplans that I would really like clients to dig into a little bit deeper. This includes things like a family heirloom that's going to be passed down from one generation to the next. Is there a story behind it? Are you able to actually type it out or upload a photo or upload a video and explain more about it, why it means so much to you, why so-and-so who's going to get it, why you really want them to. So, on the favorite recipes, I know my grandma, she printed out, a stack of different recipes for all of her grandchildren. And it would have been really great to just get an electronic version, right? She uploads all the recipes. Upon her passing, everyone in her Everplan gets access to all her recipe books. So, things are happening. I think Everplans hopefully is going to automate this a little bit and try to make things easier on you and the next generation. Everplans helps you turn what may be disconnected details into a single secure roadmap for your family. So I've been using the example of my desk, right? So if you walk into my office, you see my desk, I have different piles. And to me, it makes sense. To me, I kind of know where everything is. I know which pile means what. And if I need more information, I know where to get more information kind of for that pile, right? If my wife came in, she would think that I'm very disorganized and it's creating anxiety for her. So, she wouldn't be able to, if she needed more information about a certain pile, she wouldn't know where to go. So what Everplans does, it basically takes the piles on my desk and puts it into organized folders that someone is able to go into and say, okay, well, I'm able to get more information on this. Where do I start? Okay, now I know where to go. So that's kind of the example that I'm using. It really does help take kind of all this stuff and really put it in one easy to digest area. So the next few slides are, I guess, from the interface of Everplans. It gives you a little bit of a feel of what it looks like. So you log in. This Charlotte Lee woman is actually where our picture would go, your financial advisor. And they're always one click away. So send an email, visit the website, add as a deputy. So you can actually gain gain access to us right here, one click away. So Everplans has 29 sections across the following 6 categories: my life, health and medical, financial, legal, elder care, and after I'm gone. So you can see if you go through, my life has all these different sections: health and medical, finance, who the financial advisors are, where the financial accounts are. You may have a 401k at an employer still, so that information would show up here. Legal, you were able to upload things like your living trust, a copy of your will, and you can actually upload the documents into the program. Under my life, pets, I think that's a really important one to consider, because I think unfortunately sometimes maybe we don't think about our pets, right? And maybe when we're no longer here, and I think people, your family, your friends, whoever is going to be kind of inheriting your assets or dealing with your estate, is left wondering who takes care of Sparky, right? Who takes care of your dog? So this is where you can actually say who the groomer is, what medication they're on, who you actually want to obviously take care of maybe your pet when you're no longer here. So that's one that I'd like to see clients add more information there, is who takes care of your dog or your pet that you love so much. Ongoing guidance. So this is part of the education piece of Everplans. It actually is going to ask you to fill out information about yourself, and then it tells you what's missing. So it's going to actually prompt you to say, okay, well, based off this personal information that you included about yourself, these are the sections that we think actually apply to you. And obviously, if they don't, you can skip it. But for me, I think when I logged in, I said, I'm a homeowner and I have a child, right? And so it's like, okay, well, do you have a living trust? That's important. Do you have life insurance? That's important. So what your answers are, they're actually going to prompt different areas of your Everplan. And if you don't have whatever it's talking about, it's going to educate you along the way. So ongoing guidance and education. So this is for the life insurance. So it's like, what is life insurance? How does it work? The types of different life insurance. How much insurance do you need? And then it's complicated, right? At the very end, it's complicated. And then here's our information at the top right saying, hey, Jerrod, I was going through my Everplan. I figured out that I actually don't have life insurance. Does this make sense for us, for my family? And then we can have a conversation and maybe even help you price out life insurance. So we're always one step away if you do have questions about that. Sticking with this life insurance, maybe you're retired, maybe you actually don't have life insurance, maybe your long-term care insurance might be more appropriate here. So for a long-term care policy, you can actually upload the actual policy. So when you potentially need it, we can actually reference, or someone that has access to this can actually reference the actual policy that has all the different details. And then it'll go through the types of coverage and what your benefit is, et cetera, et cetera. So I think something that is important is your plan will evolve over time. This is not something that happens overnight. This is not something that you spend 2 hours doing on the weekend and it's done forever, right? This is going to evolve over time, just like the financial plans that we do for our clients. Is things are going to change. Reality is going to happen. Things need to change as things change in your life. So I think upload what helps you sleep at night initially, and then I think you can kind of chip away as things go. The reason why we're doing this Everplans webinar now is because we're all spending a little bit more time at home, and I think now is such a great time to make sure your estate's in order, make sure your financial house is in order. Sharing with deputies. So this is a really important slide. I want to spend a little bit of time on here because this is, I guess, one of the key differences in what Everplans is versus like our vault, right? So I know that some clients have asked, what's the difference between the client vault that I have access to and Everplans? Well, Everplans allows you to share with deputies, and deputies are people that you know and love and trust, and that you want to have access to certain information of your Everplan. So you can see here, Michael Jones has been named a deputy. 26 sections have been shared now, 3 sections shared after death and allowed to unlock. So that means that he actually has the ability to say, whoever's plan this is, Sarah is no longer here. She's passed away. Here's her death certificate. Now all the sections that he didn't have access to, 3 sections shared after death, will be released to him. And then Susie Smith, it looks like 22 sections have been shared now, 3 sections shared after death, not allowed to unlock. So she actually does not have the ability to essentially unlock the plan. So that's in Michael's hands. But the important thing is you can actually give access to people today, and then give access to, to the rest of everything else upon your passing. So what we're saying that might make sense now is maybe, your healthcare directive, maybe having access to that makes sense today, but everything else, let's say it's your kids, they don't need to know how your living trust reads. They can kind of figure that out when you're no longer here. So it allows you to essentially disclose everything without having to disclose anything. So you get to essentially decide what you want them to have access to, when to have access. And you can name as many as you want. Even if it's one person to have access to one certain thing, you can do that as well. So the ongoing sharing, the deputies actually get a benefit, even if they only have access to certain items, they get a benefit from the educational piece of the Everplan, sorry. So they're able to log in and kind of say, I have a young family, I'm considering life insurance. Now I need to maybe figure out the type of life insurance to get, so they can actually kind of poke around on the website, see what types of life insurance there are. And then, we're there as a resource for them to reach out to say, hey, I want to maybe price out some life insurance. Can you help me with that? So they're able to essentially educate themselves as a deputy. And really see how it applies to their life, right? I mean, everyone's going to be a little bit different. So it's just another tool for the next generation or someone else that you want to have access to your plan. So let me see if I can. This is just another short video. Why choose Everplans? So that video actually got me thinking, because, God forbid something happened to me, or sorry, something to my wife. She's the financial planner of our house. So she usually keeps all the information about, usernames and passwords, and does kind of the bill pay. And I wouldn't really know where to start if I didn't have an Everplan. So I think being able to have that, sometimes I'm not the only one. I know that sometimes with our clients, one spouse definitely does maybe more of the kind of financial housekeeping than the other. That's definitely the case in my household. So this Everplans allows you to have a place to start for someone that might be out of the loop on some certain things, is now they have kind of a secure place to access to have all the information, have all the usernames and passwords to essentially start. So obviously, with all this information that we've been telling you to upload into the Everplan, you want to make sure that Everplans is serious about security. So the background on the security, it was purpose-built from day one with the intention of being highly secure, a place to store sensitive information. So I think when you talk about things like the data breach with Target or Experian, these were companies that had to try to keep up with the times and change their security as life changed and as reality changed. And so the difference with the Target or Experian is they were already kind of up and running, and their security was essentially compromised. But the Everplans had the intention of being a highly secure kind of document vault, secure educational platform from day one. All information uploaded and sent to the deputies is encrypted. So it's military grade encryption. I know I have the details on that. It's definitely over my head in terms of what the actual encryption means. So I know that they provide like a 1 or 2 pager. If you're curious about the actual encryption for maybe any of those coders out there that might understand it, we can provide that. It's HIPAA compliant because of the health documents that are going to be shared or potentially stored in there. And it's important, the Everplans employees can't actually see what's updated, or sorry, what's uploaded. Either can we. So we actually have the ability to see what sections are uploaded, but not the actual information. And then 2-factor authentication. So in line with how we log into our Raymond James accounts, we have a password, and then we can get a text to our phone with a code. So just in case someone gets a hold of our username and password, they have that 2-factor authentication to actually log in. The cost, so it's free for Vance Wealth clients and $75 per year for non-clients. We can actually set it up at the household level or individually. So, husband and wife, we can set it up as a household, and then individually, then you can have deputies that are named to your Everplan. So if it's a couple, we're recommending it set up at the household level just because you're going to be uploading the same information. You don't want to duplicate things. And then I think I already had answered the difference between the Vault and Everplans. The Vault, a lot more is in your hands to organize. You have the ability to create your own folders, kind of organize it however you see fit. Everplans is essentially done for you. You just go through, click through the different areas that pertain to you and then upload them. But I think one of the most important features Everplans has that Vault doesn't is being able to grant people access and customize that. So whether that's today, whether that's when you're no longer here, and then certain sections of your Everplan. So getting started, Vance Wealth clients, you can email Tara White. A lot of you have her emails because that's how you sign up for this webinar. And she can essentially get the Everplan set up for you. All we need is an email. And if you have a spouse that you want on your household plan, you just need to provide their email as well. And then staying on track. So like I said, we have the ability to view the sections that you uploaded data, not the actual data itself. We can provide a progress report at review meetings to help you stay on track. And we're hoping that this is just part of the normal review process. So the more and more clients that utilize it, the more and more it's going to become into kind of our normal review process, talking about, did you get your living trust updated? Yes. Well, did you update your Everplan? And so we'll be kind of in your corner reminding you to do that. So we are doing a special offer for clients. It's basically one extra plan for a family member. So if you want to let us know in the email to Tara, you have someone that you want them to set up their own Everplan, just give us their information and we can set one up for them as well. And then non-clients, there's actually a free 90-day trial. So if you log on to everplans.com, you can start that today. So questions, I think there was a few coming through. So I'll pull up the Q&A list here and see. Nice graphics, Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you're drinking, John, hopefully you're drinking a margarita as well. Just trying to make it a little bit more lively. If you haven't already addressed it, can you discuss the security aspects? Is everything encrypted? Is there potential for accessed by the government or others. So yes, it is encrypted. Accessed by the government, I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, I think we can maybe go down a wormhole in terms of what they have access to, or if they really wanted to, could they? I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that the information uploaded is encrypted. Let's see. Can you speak to the permissions provided to your designees? Can I allow particular family members by individual access to only certain information, allowing others a wider range, but still others such as attorneys, totally different access? Yes. So it's customizable. You can actually name as many deputies as you want. And then per deputy, you actually go through and say, I want, Jane Smith, my deputy number 1, to have access only to my living trust because she's actually the executor of my estate and I need her to have that information. Then you can say my kids get access to everything else upon my passing. It can be specific per deputy. So a good question. Assuming you can use Everplan as a family depository of history, heirlooms, photos, etc., can each family member have their own file? I'm not sure how to answer that. I think I understand what the question is asking. I think when you're uploading certain photos, I think what you're essentially talking about is just giving them access only to certain things. So if you're giving them, access to the family heirloom and a different photo and, family recipe, if you only want one person to have access to that, then you can designate them, on your deputy list to have access just to that. So it is kind of deputy specific. So hopefully that answers your question. So good question. Is Everplan available as a standalone solution? If not, what happens if everything is loaded into it and 5 years from now, I sever my relationship with Vance Wealth? So we obviously hope that that's not the case, but we know that that definitely can be the case. You can take it with you. So we are providing this as a service to our clients free of charge. Now, if we're not the right fit down the road, you end up taking your accounts elsewhere, you can pay for Everplans outside of Vance Wealth's relationship with Everplans. So it's $75 a year. Are deputies allowed to add anything in areas they take care of at home, like contacts and bill pay? Is there an approval part of this from principal person to allow this? So I don't actually think deputies have the ability to upload anything into a plan that they're given access to. So this is actually my dad asking the question, and I can definitely follow up with you on this. I don't think it's possible. I think you only have access to view the information. I don't think you have access to upload it. This doesn't mean that you can't, for example, you give me, well, let's not get into that. We can talk about that later, but yeah, I don't think you have access to actually upload documents if you're a deputy. When you say upload the information, is that by scanning into Everplan directly? So it works just like you're going to be uploading information to any document file sharing service. You have to have it saved on your computer, and then you can drag it, you can drop it, or you can upload it from your computer. So it does need to be saved onto your computer, and then it's going to ask you to identify a file to upload. I actually made sure today that you can upload videos. So I know one of the sections is after I'm gone. You can actually upload a video to your loved one saying, hey, obviously I'm no longer here. And I know it sounds weird, but how great would it be if you're a grandchild and grandma's no longer here, but she was able to give each of her grandchildren kind of a goodbye video? I think that would be cherished forever. if someone gets hold of your password and username, wouldn't they be allowed to have the code sent to their phone? Well, you need the phone. I think, yes, I mean, if you have the password and username, you can't actually log in to change the phone number. So I think if they got your username, your password, and your cell phone, then you're in trouble. But I think if they only got your username and password, they wouldn't be able to get the code that's sent to your phone, assuming that they didn't get that as well. And then I think the last question here. So if anyone else has any questions, you can go ahead and type that now. So this says, is this free if we are a 401k client? So yes, so we can send that link to you as well. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. We're right on time, 30 minutes. I thought it was gonna be around 30 minutes, we're at 32. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let us know if you guys have additional information or additional questions or want additional information. We're hoping that clients spend a little bit more time digging into this and upload information that they want maybe a loved one to know about or the next generation. We will get back to kind of the regular scheduled program next week. John will be back. And I know that we've committed to doing this for the foreseeable future. So hope to see everyone soon, and everyone stay safe and have a good rest of your week.